Guys, thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is July 10th. Checks notes. The Pirates have a day off today. And it is a good thing. After winning 6 straight on their homestand, they have completely erased it entirely and lost 6 straight on the road. What's going on? Well, we've talked about several times how this team's a 500 team, and when you run off 6 straight, the only way to be a quote-unquote 500 team is to lose 6 straight. Obviously, they're not a 500 team for the whole season, but I think that, in the spirit of things, if you've been listening to this show, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, then stick around. But essentially, I'm just saying that this team is built to be a 500 team, and they're underperforming. And this is just more of that. I'm sure you were wondering, and you know that this is definitely something that I will always be looking up anytime any of this stuff comes. The Mets won 6 straight between June 6th and June 12th this year, and then lost 7 straight from June 13th to June 20th. So when you think back at how bizarre it is to win 6 and immediately lose 6, the Mets did it earlier this year. Once I found that, I did look through the rest of this year because that was easy to do. But once I found that out, I wasn't scraping back more years than that. That's enough I need to know right now, is that we've actually seen another team do this. And then if we lose Friday, we will have matched what the Mets did earlier this season. Hopefully we can get a win. It will be a Skeens Day Friday. And my guess is he's probably not going to go a full game again. My guess is they're going to take him out after 5 innings again. They're going to give him an opportunity to pitch in the All-Star game. He'll probably only go 4 or 5 innings before he's out of the game. And that will be a way to give him rest, let him have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off to throw 1 inning. And then he'll be ready to pitch again Friday or Saturday coming out of that. Maybe they push him clear to Sunday. I don't know. Probably not, actually. Because if he throws Tuesday, if he's only throwing an inning, he could go Saturday, he could go Sunday. I don't see them bringing him right back on Friday in that scenario. Anyway, way too far down the line. We need to talk about what's going on right now. Bailey Falter started this game last night and struggled to be effective on the road again. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs to Sal Perez and Jack Caglione. Both of them bombs. Perez would end up hitting another home run in this game to seal the deal for the Royals and finish off the sweep. I'm just struggling right now with Bailey Falter. I don't like what I see ever. Then again, when he's going good, I don't like what I see either. So it's it's kind of expected. He still has a 3.79 ERA on the season. 3.79 ERA is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. But it was a 5.14 ERA in June. And so far in 2 starts this month, it's a 5.23. He's failed to get a quality start since May 31st. Once again, that's at least 6 innings and no more than 3 runs. You go 6 innings and you give up 3 or less runs, that's a quality start. He's given up 3 runs, 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. And the one that he didn't, the one start in those 5 last starts that he did not give up 3 runs, he pitched 1 2/3 innings, and the skies opened up and poured down rain, And the delay knocked him out of the game. The 1 hour and a half delay knocked him out of the game. But even in that game, in the 1 2/3 innings, he had already given up a run, 4 hits, and walked the guy. I'm pretty sure a couple homers, I feel like. No, that was Seattle. In the other 4 games, he's failed to pitch more than 5 2/3 innings. His last start against Seattle was the one that he went 5 2/3 innings. He was 1 out from a quality start and missed it. But he'd given up 4 runs. Just 3 of them were earned. I guess that's a good question. Is it earned runs or is it total runs to get the quality start? I was thinking earned runs, but I guess there's a possibility it would be total runs. I would guess earned runs. But he'd also, in that game, given up 3 home runs. Thanks, Cal Raleigh. I just don't know how I feel with him on the mound anymore. There was a stretch there where I felt pretty good when Bailey Falter was on the mound. At least I felt good when he pitched at home. But I mean, I'm looking back at these last 5 starts that I just talked about. 2 of them were at home. Of course, the one was the Rains, but like I said, he'd already given up 1 run. The other one was against Texas, where he gave up 3 runs and 6 hits in 5 1/3 and walked 5 guys. And of course, the June 6th game against Philadelphia, 3 2/3 innings and giving up 4 runs at home. So that hasn't all been pretty. Even in the games that he's gotten an opportunity to pitch at home, it hasn't been that good. His next start will be at home. It'll be the week after the All-Star game. So he's got some time to get whatever it is right. But I just don't know if there are teams like we were talking at one point, like, man, he might be a guy like Mitch Keller that you might move at this point. There's no way that teams are calling on this guy now. There's no way, if they even were before. But I can't imagine being a contending team, even saying, like, if you're calling the Pirates about a lefty, you're calling about Andrew Heaney just because of the experience and knowing that down the stretch, if you have a young guy coming up or a guy coming back from injury, or you just get into the postseason, Andrew Heaney has experience coming out of the bullpen as well. You're certainly calling for Andrew Heaney, despite the total numbers of the 379 for Bailey Falter and the Heaney, I think it's 441. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's somewhere around there. Like, I'm still calling about Andrew Heaney. Because what I'm watching here, I don't believe in hardly. And that's the thing that I just can't get past. And I don't know. It's something I'm going to think about a little bit more, obviously, before I just am upset because they lost. Like, that's not it. He doesn't get the loss in this. He wasn't at fault here. They did come back and scored 3 off of Bubic, which was actually impressive in its own right. They piled on him in the 1 inning, took advantage of a couple walks or a walk and a couple singles, and were able to get a run in from O'Neal Cruz, which, by the way, I know it was a ground out for an RBI, but let's talk about that because Cruz hit a double on a ball that was a single. And it was fielded, it was cut off, and he stretched it into a double, which is something that we've been needing to see from O'Neal Cruz. It was a hustle double. He used his speed to turn a base hit into a double, something that a lot of us have been calling for. But then with bases loaded and 1 out already, he's got the lefty out there throwing the sweepers, and he's able to connect with one, 100 miles an hour, 100.6 off the bat, ground ball. Bobby Witt goes on the right side of second base, left side if you're the actual shortstop, but on the second base side of second, and makes the play and throws him out at first, and a run scores on the play. And he almost beat that out. So, like, not a bad game. He got an RBI there, and, you know, not a terrible game from O'Neal Cruz from that standpoint. I know it's a 1-for-4 game, but just the 1 strikeout, credit I mean, hat tip to Bubic on that one. I thought that was a great pitch. Cruz is still making decisions. If you think back to the home run that he hit yesterday, he said, I thought he would go off speed there, so I was ready for it. I don't, if he's thinking off speed, he's gonna get caught looking a lot. So I guess that's it. But either way, Ke'Bryan Hayes only hits when there's runners in scoring position. He follows that up with a big 2-run single to tie the game in the 6th. They did a good job there. And again, the Bucs score all of their runs in one inning and fail to score in any other inning in the game. 8 hits, 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. One of those from Ke'Bryan Hayes. The other was the base hit. The base hit from Brian Reynolds to load the bases with a guy on second. So I don't know. The Pirates are now 16-22 in 1-run games, as they're several of these games, right? The couple 1-0 games. These last 2 games have been 4-3. So in 1-run games, they are 16-22. That was the Pirates' 38th 1-run game. You don't have to do the math. I just did it for you. That's the most in the MLB, 1-run games. The Giants have the second most at 37. So they were tied as of yesterday. And the Giants are 21-16. And they're 51-43 overall. Flip that with the 1-run game. If you've got just a couple more offensive pieces and you can flip those 1-run games to more wins than losses, it's going to change things. Not enough, but obviously they'll help in some of those other games too. A .421 winning percentage in 1-run games. That's 23rd in the league as far as winning percentage goes in 1-run games. The offense just continues to fall short of whatever they need. They're falling short, and they're not able to just get one more run across. And in this situation, you've got two. We're talking about these 6 games, right? You've got 2 1-0 games. Just score a run. And these 2 4-3 games where we always talk about it on this show, the magic number's 4. Right? If you score 4 runs, we're still playing the last 2 games, and you won the 2 games in Seattle. You're still going to lose 2 of these. The 9-3 game and the 6-0 game, you're still going to lose. But score your 4 runs. And, outside of the... I forget it now. They mentioned the 4 runs, when they score 4 runs, when they score less than 4 runs, what their record is. And it's always, it's going to be that way with everybody, but it's the fact that there's been so many games that this offense has only scored less than, or 3 or less runs. So we did that. We did that exercise a while back. I'm sure we'll do it again towards the end of the season and take a look at 1-run game contests and also games in which they've scored less than 4 runs. That's always going to be a topic of conversation. So we'll get into that later. What I don't want to miss here, let's move on a little bit, right? Day off, that's a good thing, all those things. But what I don't want to miss here is Braxton Ashcraft came in the 6th inning for Bailey Falter, in the 5th inning with 2 outs. He gets out of that and throws 2 more innings, 2 1/3, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. He threw 45 pitches. And a couple of those pitches, dominant. Like really good stuff from Braxton Ashcraft. He's starting to understand what it takes to get major league hitters out. I say starting to. He's got a 2.05 ERA. He's been doing it, but you can see a little more confidence with it. I really like this guy out of the bullpen. But he's doing this for 2 1/3 out of the bullpen, which means let's stay positive on this dude. He could be pitching his way into a rotation spot going into 2026, and there's a lot of guys up for that. Obviously, you're going to have Skeens, but you're looking at Oviedo possibly coming back at some point. Jared Jones at some point is going to be back. I mean, that's 3 of them. Plus you've got, my goodness, I am going to draw a blank here. Assuming Andrew Heaney's gone, they're talking about Mitch Keller possibly being gone. Mike Burrows, that's who I'm trying to think of. You've got Mike Burrows in the mix. And you still have Mitch Keller in the mix, but he could be on the move. We just talked at length about Bailey Falter and whether he's going to be on that list or not. And then on top of that, you've got knocking on the door Bubba Chandler and Hunter Barco, who we may see this year. And you may as well mention Carmen Majinski too. They've given him an opportunity to start several games this year. And as he continues to work on that, I don't know that the door is all the way closed on that. But Braxton Ashcraft is definitely on that list. Thomas Harrington, he's also on that list going into 2026. I mean, there are a lot of guys here, which is the only reason the Pirates are saying we're listening on Mitch Keller. Because there are guys. And Bubba Chandler's starting to heat up. And Hunter Barco's been hot. We're going to see those guys. Heaney is going to get moved. And maybe one other guy. And it just depends on whether or not they're going to graduate Majinski or Ashcraft up to starters. But if they do, where are you getting the bullpen from? Dowry Moretta could come up. Daryl Hicks could come up. But would you rather do that than you're losing 2 guys off your 40-man? You could be adding guys from there. I mean, there's a lot of options, obviously. There's a lot of options. 3 more games this weekend. 3 more games. They're going to be in Minnesota, and then we're at the All-Star break. Obviously, everybody's pretty excited about O'Neal Cruz. If you're not, I don't understand what we're doing. I don't understand how you're not excited about O'Neal Cruz in the Home Run Derby. I feel like the guy is just built for this. We don't know the full list of guys who are going to be in the Derby. I know there's 6 right now. You've got Acuna, you've got Cal Raleigh, you've got James Wood, O'Neal Cruz, Byron Buxton, and then they just added somebody else. Could have swore there was 6. Somebody else was added to it today. I don't remember who it is. It probably doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I might be able to find it pretty quickly. Oh, yes, Junior Caminero, which is another young, exciting player. I like the fact that we're getting like O'Neal Cruz, James Wood, and Caminero in there because I feel like these guys are good players and they get an opportunity for more fans to be able to understand who they are. This is something that could put O'Neal Cruz on the map. Again, a couple of days ago, I talked about the importance that this could have for O'Neal Cruz and what it could be getting an opportunity to hang around some all-stars and just pick their brains and talk about consistency and what you're doing to prepare for things and how you get out of slumps and whatever else questions he has to ask. But I feel like that's a really good thing. I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for him to even just maybe gain momentum. If he can put on a show and gain some momentum and some confidence, I think that goes a long way. One of the things that came out today, last thing I'll talk about today, we got to get out of here. One of the things that came out today, ABS challenge system is going to be used in the All-Star game. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, put your comments down below on the ABS challenge system. And if you don't have thoughts, just click comment anyway, put a thumbs up or put a skull and crossbones or something in the comments just for the sake of engagement. Just do it. It doesn't hurt anything, but just throw it in there. But anyway, I'm excited about this. But I want to know, I want to distinguish the difference. Is that the word? Anyway, I want to talk about the difference between robo-umps and the challenge system. Because the challenge system, there's an umpire still back there making all the calls. And when you think it's wrong, when he misses a call, you can tap your hat or your helmet, you can challenge it, And it gives it kind of some strategy and gamesmanship. And I actually, prior to seeing the challenge system in play, I was against all of it. Old head, I know. Old guy. I was against all of it, but seeing the challenge system, I think it actually adds something to the game. There's some excitement. There's still a way that you get to yell at the umpire and tell him that he missed that call, even though you can't see from the stands, but have your guys back. If the hitter goes like this, then as a fan, you yell at the umpire. That's just the way it goes. I like that. I like that experience. And with the challenge system, it still exists. And you can tip your cap to the umpire when he gets them right. You can tell the umpire. We were just at a game in Columbus not too long ago, and they challenged, and both teams were quick to challenge. I think there were 3 challenges. The first 3, one team completely ran out of challenges. The other team used one of their challenges, and the umpire had them all right. And I remember somebody yelling to the umpire that he was having a good game. It's just a different, just a different scenario there. But I think it's fun. They show it on the screen. Everybody's involved. They make the announcement. When you go straight robo-umps, it kind of makes the game boring. Because in that aspect, right? In that aspect, it makes it boring. The baseball stuff is still not going to be boring. But as far as there's no point in talking to the umpire anymore. There's no point. There's no point in standing up for your team when they think it's a bad call. You just tell them it's not a bad call. It's automatic. The only thing I don't like, and this is the biggest thing against robot umps for me, which is again, ABS calling every single ball and strike. There was a pitch in this game, and I wish I would have actually brought up the video and saved it, and I would have played it on the YouTube channel for this. But there was a pitch in this game where the catcher gets in his position. He sets up on the inside corner to a righty, and he has to reach. He wants it inside and low, and he has to reach up and away. And the ball on the little box on the TV, it hit the zone. It was a colored in circle, right? It barely hit the zone. And the umpire stood up and it was a ball. That should be a ball 100% of the time. 100. I don't care if it hit the box or not. If you intended to throw a pitch low and in, and you threw it 23 inches away from where you wanted to, you did not execute your pitch. You don't deserve that strike. I think I give you an inch off maybe sometimes if you barely missed. Those kind of things I don't hate. I actually don't like the inch off anymore. I want true balls to be true balls. But I think there's a time, and I think that it makes sense for a strike not to be called a strike in those situations. You could make the case if you want that the catcher was set up to try to deke the hitter. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You missed by a lot. That was a bad pitch. That was a bad pitch, Petey. And if you miss the zone, or if you miss your target that far away, I'm not rewarding you with a strike. I see what you're trying to do. It was a bad pitch. I don't think that should be a strike. That's my opinion. I understand if it goes over the plate and it's within the thing, fine, whatever. But I'd much rather see the challenge system with a little bit of excitement and a little bit of allowance for those types of pitches to be called. Now, you could challenge that pitch if you wanted to. If the catcher or the pitcher could still challenge and say, you know what, I need that, it hit the zone. I don't think they're going to do it that often. I think both the pitcher and the catcher thought that that was a ball as well. I don't think anybody was happy with that pitch. So I don't think that's one that you would challenge anyway. But you could if you really needed it and you needed to get away with it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with those few that you might fight for. Catcher pitch framing is about making sure that your true strikes are called strikes. That's the most important thing. There are times when they take a ball and they make it a strike. The hitter knows that. The hitter sees that away. Challenge it. Get it right. I'm totally fine with that. And I understand that the robo-ump wouldn't call that a strike because of pitch framing. But pitch framing is a skill whether you like it or not. And if you take that away, I don't know what you're going to get. I mean, Henry Davis has come a long way as a catcher. He's better than Joey Bart by a long shot now. And when Joey Bart's back there, you can tell. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just about stealing strikes. That's not it. It's about getting strikes that you should get. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. I'm not gonna fight with you about it. Like, whatever's coming is coming. I think the challenge system is the sweet spot. I really do. I think it's really good. I imagine someday, maybe when my hair turns white, they'll switch to full robo umps, and the game will lose a little bit of its charm on that day. But right now, challenge system used in the All-Star game, I don't care. The guys probably, I mean, you remember spring training. A lot of teams were telling their pros, don't use it. Just ignore it. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to encourage them to use it a couple times and experience it or whatever. But I don't know. What do you think about it? That's all I'm going to have for today. Let's play some music and get out of here. Today's a day off for the Pirates. We get all the Thursdays off this month. Enjoy it. Relax. We'll be back at it Friday. We'll have another show
Friday
on Hawaiian Shirt Day. Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jig are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.